What's up, Demon Slayers and Zombie Hunters? This is Damian Hunter back with another video. First, I just want to apologize for the length of time in between videos. I've been dealing with a lot personally. Had a new baby come out last month, or back in April, sorry, and been dealing with a lot at work. So hopefully this video will kind of help some of the people struggling with time trial or time rift and conquest. So some of the questions I've been getting is people don't understand how the heroes kind of play together. So what I'm going to do is talk about the heroes a little bit and talk about how they play with the color of the enemy, which right now we have a green enemy for Time Rift. And then kind of what you want to look for when you build your offensive team for this, as well as kind of who you put up for Loner within your alliance. So some of you may know I moved over to K49 and joined APX from K53 and TNL. So it's been quite a drastic change. Definitely got some big hitters over here now. All of these guys are pretty awesome. So if you guys think you want to jump your kingdoms and kind of check out another cool place to go, K49 is not a bad place to check out. So getting on to the main topic of this. So whenever you try and pick a team, there's a couple of heroes that you have to pretty much center your builds around. So whenever you do this, you need someone who prevents rage gain, who depletes rage, buffs attack for your team, and buffs or debuffs the defense of the enemy. So there's a couple of heroes within most of those categories that kind of fit those bills. So to kind of start off, for the absolute number one hero you need for Time Rift is Nefertari. Her ability to prevent target from gaining MP is absolutely crucial for Time Rift, just because it's only one enemy, and his attack does so much damage, or their attack do so much damage. So this gives you an extra 4 rounds to hopefully pull some more yellows and give you an additional 4 rounds on top of that. So the further out you can extend, the better you can hopefully get some combos strung together and get some better points. So the next hero you kind of honestly need that you can kind of change around a little bit is your attack buff hero. So Sun Wukong is really good for this because he gives you that plus 80%. However, there is that 25% debuff to accuracy. Now, if you combo that with Nefertari, who prevents any kind of debuffs from happening, you basically get a free 80%, and you don't have to worry about it. And she deals the double duty of not letting the opponent gain rage. So that's kind of the second piece. And then the other centerpiece to this is either Yang or Hades. And the reason for that is that depleting 25% of the target's MP. And quite honestly, Yang is drastically better than Hades. And the main reason for that is because of his attack buff. Had 35% attack buff to his adjacent casters, or adjacent allies to the cast. So generally speaking, you're going to want him in the middle. So something like this. Now, there is debate amongst a lot of the bigger players that he's not necessarily needed. And granted, if you have plus 8 heroes, plus 7 heroes, he's really not, because they should generally be able to tank a hit if you can buff your defense a little bit. So I like being able to not have to worry about that, so it's kind of what it is. The next piece of that is debuffing their defense. So there's a couple of heroes that can debuff the enemy's defense. Zeus is a good one, depending on what color you have to go against, reducing by 44%. Sarbor is also absolutely crucial for this too, because he not only debuffs the foe's defense by 44%, he also increases your defense by 63%, which is on par with Lux. Typically speaking, you don't really want to use healers in Time Rift because you're looking for pure damage output. And Nefertari kind of fills that role anyway, giving you a slight health increase. It's not the same, but I think it does well enough, honestly. So that pretty much fills out all of your slots, and it's going to be kind of dependent upon how you want to run your combos for color. So since I'm against a green opponent right now, I can switch out Yang for Sun Wukong for Riska, because Riska gives 34% to all of my allies in attack. So it's not nearly as much, but it actually does boost a bit. So it kind of just depends on what you want to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of my teammates' better Nazos, because that'll give me a lot better action on damage. Go ahead and grab my Sarbor, and let's go ahead and see what happens. So hopefully the table doesn't decide to actually screw me here. This is an entirely RNG dependent event, so you kind of got to get really lucky sometimes. I've had tables where I can get 5 to 6 million points off of one go, and then the next go I turn around and get 500,000. So it's pretty terrible. So once you're into actually fighting, one of the things you need to do is keep track of the silent effect on the opponent. So the rounds left, currently he has 4, so I have 4 more attacks I can hit him with before he hits me. And when you're looking through your table, obviously you want to get all of your heroes set up and ready to go, and then it's kind of crucial how you use them later on. But as you're kind of developing the table and you get down to the last couple of rounds and all of your heroes are good to go, then you kind of want to start clearing out some of the crappy colors that you don't have. So like right now I don't have blue or purple, so I want to try and clear some of those to make way for big combos later on. So as you saw, right now he has 1 round left of silent, and so it gives me 1 more attack that I can use. So this is kind of the crucial piece. When his bar turns blue, that means his ultimate is ready to go and he can start dealing some massive damage to you. So how you use your heroes is dependent on the synergy, right? So almost always you're going to lead off with Nefertari, because she prevents any kind of debuff from your heroes' abilities like Sun's. So we're going to go ahead and use that. And this will also prevent him from gaining rage. Now, since I didn't include Yang or Hades to give some depletion in there, he is going to get 1 free attack. And when he does, you'll see that he'll take a pretty good chunk out of everybody, but he shouldn't actually kill them. So after Nefertari, we have Sun Wukong, and then Sarbor. There's been some debate with also big players about whether you do Sarbor first or Sun first. I tend to find that doing Sarbor after Sun gives you a little bit more damage, but it's honestly not consistent. So the way this game plays is pretty weird sometimes, as pretty much everybody's figured out. And then the reason Animus is in here is to also increase your timelines of turns. And the neat little synergy between Animus and Nefertari is Animus' debuff to where he can't gain MP doesn't apply if Nefertari's prevention effect is online for those 2 turns. So he'll be able to gain MP pretty much off the bat. And when you're looking at your table, you want to try and get these the all color hits. That way hopefully it'll combo off a little bit. So as you saw, he took a chunk out of all my heroes, but he didn't actually kill them. So that's what we want to see. And then as you saw, it was 97,000 off a crit right there. So this lets you get into some pretty huge damage if everything goes pretty well for your table. And granted, again, that depends on whether or not your table wants to mess with you or not, because it's entirely dependent on that. And there's not much you can do about it other than just try your hardest. So after you use Nefertari, you want to really keep an eye out for when he can start attacking you again. And with all of the debuffs on him, you have to make sure you pay attention. So as you can see here, his silence has run out again. So now if after I attack him, he's going to hit me again. So the table really didn't do very well on the yellow side for this one, nor did it really combo off. And that's going to happen, and that's okay. The main thing is you want to try and get as much consistency as possible. So with that one, I ended up with 2 million points. If I would have used my Nazal at +6, probably would have been maybe 100k, 200k less. So it's still been well over a mil. And a lot of players seem to have issues trying to get up that high. And I think it's because they don't use the right heroes, nor do they use them in the right way. So now someone's put in a +8 Sun Wukong, so I'm going to go ahead and grab him instead to also help them out a little bit. So, and I want to kind of show you the difference here as well, right? So I'm going to change out Sarbor for Yang, and instead of taking a defense buff off of the opponent, I'm going to take off their MP instead. Or take their MP off. So let's see what happens here. Hopefully the table is a little bit nice to me, and we're not going to get screwed too badly. Okay, nice little combo there. Let's grab those yellows to try and get Nefertari online. Okay, we're sitting at 5. So now, when he gets down to 5, you kind of have a decision to make too. You can run all of your skills out to try and get a little extra damage early, but then you run the risk of not getting any of those back by the time he's ready to hit you. So, for me, I typically try not to play too greedy early, unless I get some massive combos and I still have 8 turns left. If I still have 8 turns left, alright, let's go for it. But typically speaking, once you get down past 5, just clear out some of your nasty colors, like the blues and purples for me. And I didn't pay attention. That's okay. Point still stands though. So let's try that again. No, I'll actually keep count this time. And anytime you can try and get those all color gems on your table is what you really want to shoot for. So like right now, I comboed off pretty early. I've got 6 rounds left. So I'm still going to mostly try and cover what I've got left. And sometimes you're going to run to where it's not feasible, so you kind of just clear what you can. So like right now, if I move that purple over into the yellow, I'm going to basically blow up my entire board. So I don't really want to do that just yet. So I'm going to try and pick this away as much as I can. 3 rounds left. And you can also make a move on the first with 1 round left to go as well. Like if your table starts to get kind of clogged like this and you want to just go for it, it's not really a terrible decision either. So I'm going to go ahead and go for it, and we'll see what happens. And that's what I'm talking about with the RNG as well, that your table doesn't actually do anything even after shooting the entire table away like that. So, but as you can see, his rage is depleted and he can't receive MP for 1 more round, and I have just enough to get back to Nefertari. Now, as you saw with those last numbers, they were in the 20 to 30,000 range, and that's where kind of debuffing that defense really comes in handy. So you kind of just got to play and figure out what's good for you and what's good for, like, what you're trying to compete for. If you're trying to just get reasonably high, then it works good enough. So, but generally speaking, like I said, you want to have Nefertari, as she's an absolute must in everything you do. And then also an attack buff, an opponent defense debuff, and pretty much rest is just color theme to get extra damage points. So, and like I said, this is where, especially against the green opponent, Animus comes in handy. I still have one more round of that, whereas I would have been dead already. So, unfortunately, the table didn't really help me out much, and that's part of it. So, but as you can see, still got almost 2.3 million off that one. So if I hadn't bossed up that second table, I'd be sitting a little bit better. Under personal rank right now, I'm sitting at still sitting at number 5. So if I hadn't botched up that second one, I'd be sitting at probably number 3 for the time being. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. Like I said, just kind of read through the hero abilities, try and ask people for help if you can, and just try and get that system going. So, alright y'all, take care, and happy hunting.